Greetings radio people, welcome to Lamco Labs, deep in the bowels of Lam Communications, where once again we are very excited because we have a new product to take a look at. What we've got here is a bit of a Go box. This is a box of tricks to go with the RST-818 or RST-817, and it's all designed to all fit neatly together. So if you've got one of these rigs, what you really need is one of these boxes of tricks. What this comes with is a power charger, a coupley DC cable-y thing, a very short stubby BNC to BNC, and a bunch of rechargeable batteries. So what we've got in the case, we've got a nice leather case to take the radio and this, which is a QRP antenna tuner. But not only is this a QRP antenna tuner, if you cleverly unscrew the back of this piece of stuff here, what you find is inside is a circuit board that slides out, which contains a bunch of rechargeable batteries. So this will provide you with a rechargeable power pack for your RST-817, RST-818, and a QRP antenna tuner. What more could you want, I hear you cry? Well, I'm not entirely sure is the answer of that. Now, what I'm going to do is stick all this together, couple it up to the RST-817 I've got here, stick it in the box, and let's take a look at it. So this has gone together really, really neatly. The antenna tuner has got magnetic feet, so it attaches itself quite well to the radio. Then there's this neat little jumper cable here that connects the transmitter output of the ATU to the antenna socket of the RST-817 or RST-818. And then on the back, similarly, there's a little jumper that connects the DC output of the battery pack that's in here to the DC supply of the radio. Really, really neat. So let's see if we can tune an antenna. So what you're looking at now is a spectrum analyzer with a return loss bridge connected to the antenna tuner for this Go Pack, and the antenna that's connected is actually a Vine Antennas high power 404 off center dipole, which has multiple resonant points on amateur bands all the way up to 4 meters at 70 megahertz. Now the span of the spectrum analyzer at the moment is only looking at 0 to 30 megahertz, but what we can do, as you increase or turn the inductor setting, you can see that the general resonant point that the spectrum analyzer is seeing is moving up in frequency. So clearly the ABC settings of this antenna tuner would be used on the higher bands, and then right at the bottom the JKL would be used on the lower bands. Now what you can do is you can try, and we can see with the spectrum analyzer how we can find a peak, or we can peak a particular frequency to resonance. So for example, my marker 3 here is on 21 megahertz. So if I were to put the resonant point roughly close to 21 megahertz and then alter the controls of the tuner, you can see that I can pretty much bring the antenna to almost perfect resonance at 21 megahertz. Now currently the SWR at 21 megahertz is 1.5 to 1. Sure, if I fiddled with it a bit more I could get it a bit better. We could even try a different inductance setting. You see, that's much better. So now on 21 megahertz it's 1.0 to 1. So this antenna tuner is doing exactly what we'd expect it to do. Looking inside, it's only a QRP because it's designed to go with an RST-818, RST-817, but this is working perfectly. So let's move up a bit in frequency. So let's move the marker frequency, which is currently at 21 megahertz. Let's make that 28 megahertz and see if we can peak around there. So almost instantly I've found the peak, haven't I? So maybe down an inductor setting. You can see how the resonant points are moving around as I alter the controls of this tuner. And we can fairly easily find a peak for 28 megahertz. Now the SWR on 28 megahertz is now 1.4 to 1. Again, I'm sure I can get it better if I fiddled with it a bit more. So this is a great little bit of kit. The battery pack I think is an excellent idea, because the batteries inside my RST-817 certainly didn't last very long, and I believe that the type of batteries that this takes are the kind of things you'd find in e-cigs, for example, so they're quite commonly available and fairly cheap as well. So, another nice bit of kit.